Hey guys, it's your favorite money-making guru here, and I've got a doozy for you today. 2023 is shaping up to be one of the most confusing years for investing in recent history. On one hand, stocks are at their cheapest in 2 years. But on the other hand, there's a chance they could drop even lower. Real estate is starting to cool off, but the Federal Reserve is planning on raising rates even more. And while Treasury bonds might seem like a safe bet, there's always the chance you could miss out on even better opportunities if you're not paying close attention. That's why I wanted to share with you exactly where I'm planning to put all my money in 2023 and where the next big opportunities might be. Plus, I'll give you some tips on what you can do today to put yourself in the best position possible to make, or at least not lose, money. But before we dive into all that, can I just take a quick second to thank you for watching and to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already? It helps me out a ton, and in return, you get 3 new videos every single week. Plus, if you actually do it, I'll stop begging you. So please and thank you. And a big shout out to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. More on them later. Okay, back to business. What makes this year so different from previous ones is that we're finally seeing the consequences of higher interest rates, skyrocketing inflation, and declining fundamentals. Investing has gotten a lot more complicated. For example, people are only spending more money because they're depleting their savings. Layoffs are on the rise, and the chances of a recession in 2023 are increasing by the day. And let's not forget that interest rates are still on the rise. It's like trying to navigate a minefield of obstacles just to try to not lose money. And if you're a newer investor, you probably experienced your first big loss in 2022. After getting used to seeing random stocks go up 20 to 50% in a day because of a good press release, the markets are finally starting to normalize. So, with that in mind, here's my investing blueprint for the next year that should hold up well even if the overall market continues to decline. First, let's break down my current investment portfolio. Up until a few years ago, I had almost all my money tied up in rental properties in Southern California. And when I say almost all my money, I'm not exaggerating. It was pretty much everything I had. For most of my 20s, I poured every penny I had into property renovations, only to be completely broke at the end of the year. But then I'd quickly make it back and repeat the process all over again. But as I started to realize, having all my net worth tied up in 7 properties in one location wasn't the smartest move. So in 2020, I started focusing on index funds and the equities market to diversify. At the same time, I also invested in some alternative assets that I could enjoy, like a Ford GT and a Tesla Roadster. I also put a small 3% allocation into Bitcoin and Ethereum. More recently, I've been buying treasuries and using money market accounts for anything that isn't immediately invested. My goal is to create a portfolio that can weather any day-to-day market fluctuations without missing out on potential growth. As of today, my portfolio is roughly broken down as follows: 35% residential real estate, 35% equities and index funds, 22% treasuries and money market accounts, 4% alternative investments, 3% Bitcoin and Ethereum, and 1% cash. Now, let's talk about where I'm planning to invest my money in 2023. I'm going to start with the most obvious choice, equities and index funds. Despite the recent turmoil in the market, I still believe in the long-term growth potential of stocks. I'm going to continue to invest in a diverse range of index funds, with a focus on tech, healthcare, and renewable energy. These sectors have proven to be relatively resilient in times of economic uncertainty and have a lot of room for growth in the coming years. Next up is real estate. I know. It's not as sexy as tech or renewable energy, but hear me out. After years of sky-high prices, the real estate market is finally starting to cool off. And while I don't expect a crash like we saw in the late 2000s, I do think there are some good deals to be had, especially in markets that have been hit hard by the pandemic. I'm looking at properties in vacation destinations that have been hit hard by the travel industry downturn, as well as areas with a high concentration of remote workers. Now, let's talk about something a little less traditional, alternative investments. By alternative investments, I'm talking about things like rare coins, collectibles, and art. These types of investments can be a little more risky, but they also have the potential for outsized returns. I'm planning to allocate about 4% of my portfolio to these types of investments, with a focus on high-quality, well-known pieces. Finally, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know. Crypto is a love it or hate it kind of thing. But I'm a fan, and I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with these technologies. I'm planning to keep a small 3% allocation in crypto, with the bulk of it in Bitcoin and a small portion in Ethereum. So, those are the areas where I'm planning to invest my money in 2023. But what can you do right now to prepare yourself for the year ahead? First and foremost, make sure you have a solid financial foundation. That means having an emergency fund in place, paying off any high-interest debt, and making sure you have a budget and a plan in place to save and invest for the long term. Next, start educating yourself. Investing can be intimidating, especially if you're just starting out. But the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions. So start reading books, listening to podcasts, and taking online courses to learn more about investing and personal finance. Finally, don't be afraid to seek out help. Whether it's a financial advisor or a trusted friend or family member, having someone you can bounce ideas off of and get guidance from can be incredibly valuable. So there you have it, my investing blueprint for 2023 and some tips for getting started on your own investment journey. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions or ideas of your own, be sure to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.